Key performance indicators are loaded with all sorts of baggage, I think. I've worked with a number of teams that have been scarred by having to comply with a corporate-wide agenda for articulating value or delivering something in a particular way. Balanced scorecards, Six Sigma, goodness knows what else is out there, any 3 or 4 letter acronym that some business consultant can imagine. What is important, I think, as well as that sort of sense of direction and the role definition that we've talked about, is that we are able, nevertheless, to have an indication of where we're going to add value, to be able to demonstrate that that's what we've done, and to feel that the capturing of that data was not a bureaucratic chore, but something which enhanced our operation. Now that's a tall order to get to, but I think it's possible. I think what we have to do with key performance indicators is really fundamentally understand what it is we're trying to do, and then find the measures that support the demonstration of that activity. If you work in an environment where somebody just says to you, come up with something which is a performance indicator, the chances are it's going to be, frankly, a little bit flaccid. It's going to be anodyne and probably dull. And the capturing of that data then becomes something which is unimportant and falls probably into disrepair. It doesn't happen as it should. We tend then to start measuring things which we really find rather pointless to measure. How quickly we turn something round, how often emails go unanswered. Now these things may be important, and one can probably argue that they are quite important, but in the helter-skelter of a busy office, when you're naturally prioritising, it's very hard, I think, then to say I'm now going to make time to demonstrate why I haven't done something, and that's important or unimportant. So key performance indicators have to be around what the team is there to do, and they need to be very thoughtfully managed and implemented. One of the things which I would encourage is a little bit of work. I think some people would call it activity analysis, but let's divide what we do into segments such as it's core and urgent, or it's core and non-urgent, or it's non-core urgent or non-core non-urgent. And let's characterise our activity typically around those 4 categorisations and see which we allocate to which type of activity. Now, when we've done that, if we find that we're spending all our time in non-core non-urgent, and we should be spending much more time in core urgent, then the performance indicator that emerges from that is how we demonstrate the transition from one to the other. That's why it's a more thoughtful piece of activity. And once you're into the mindset of creating something which allows, almost in a self-help way, for the lawyers to prove their value, then you get a much better level of engagement. So key performance indicators are important. I do like to see them. I do challenge whether they're valuable, however. But once we've found the metrics, once we've found the mechanism for demonstrating value, then they are truly important, and I certainly wouldn't argue against them.